Imagine training a new person at work, someone you guided from day one, who quickly becomes your work bestie and eventually a genuine close friend. For 3 years, you share everything: shopping trips, weekend drinks, and even double dates with your partners. You are her biggest cheerleader when she gets engaged. But then the invitations go out and you realize you are the only one from the entire team who is intentionally excluded. And the absolute worst part? That same friend follows you into the break room every single day to brag about her dress fittings, her venue, and her luxury plans, knowing full well you aren't invited. This isn't just a story about a wedding snub. It's a terrifying look at main character syndrome. And the moment I realized some people don't want a friend, they just want an audience. Amanda and I were inseparable. We spent hours talking about our futures and supporting each other through work stress. When she got engaged, I was thrilled for her. She told me to my face that she was keeping the wedding small and intimate, only inviting family, and that friends would only be invited to the reception. It sounded reasonable until Snapchat revealed the truth. I watched as 3 other coworkers posted their full-day invitations on their stories. I wasn't just left out of the ceremony, I was completely erased from the entire guest list. But did that stop Amanda? Not at all. She would sit next to me during lunch, showing me photos of her custom dress and complaining about flower costs. When I finally found the courage to tell her that this talk made me uncomfortable because I wasn't invited, she laughed it off with a blatant lie. "Oh, I didn't invite anyone from work." I shut her down instantly by mentioning the Snapchats I'd seen. The look of panic on her face as she bolted out of the room was the only closure I needed. I didn't just lose a friend that day. I gained the peace of mind that comes from ejecting a narcissist from your life. But the madness of the workplace doesn't end with wedding drama. It often extends to the morbid curiosity of people who think your body is public property. Take the case of a coworker who was born with 3 fingers missing on her dominant hand. From her very first day, the office gossips began their interrogation. Instead of handing over her trauma to strangers, she decided to have some fun. To one person, she said she chewed them off as a baby. To another, she claimed she cut them off with a plastic knife at a picnic. Within 3 days, the office was in an uproar. The coworkers weren't angry because they cared about her hand. They were furious because they felt stupid for being gullible enough to believe her ridiculous lies. It's a hilarious and sharp reminder that if you ask a rude, intrusive question, you shouldn't be surprised when you get a ridiculous answer. And then we have the body-positive double standard that plagues our social circles. Imagine a coworker who calls you slim, toothpick, or skinny every single morning for 8 days straight. You ask her politely to stop, explaining that you find it insulting, but she claims it's her mouth and she can say what she wants. So you decide to give her a taste of her own medicine. The next time she says, "Morning, Slim," you reply with a calm, "Morning, Chunky." Suddenly, the office is in tears, the manager is calling you a bully, and the world acts like you committed a crime. We live in a society where skinny shaming is often disguised as a compliment, but fat shaming is a career ender. Respect, however, is a two-way street. If you aren't prepared to receive a comment about your weight, keep your comments about mine to yourself. I've learned that being the bigger person doesn't mean letting people walk all over you like a doormat. It means having the strength to put the trash exactly where it belongs, even if that trash sits in the cubicle next to you. Your worth is not determined by a wedding invitation, a coworker's nickname, or an office gossip's opinion. Your worth is determined by the boundaries you are brave enough to set for your own sanity. Sometimes the most petty revenge is simply succeeding and being happy while the toxic people in your life avoid your gaze in the hallway. Because at the end of the day, they didn't deserve your friendship. They just deserved the lesson you were bold enough to teach them.